to another episode of Married at First Sight After Party. Today, my guest is going to be Wendy. Hi, Wendy. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. I'm excited to be here. I really enjoyed this after party.
The episodes are ramping up. Like they're about to get to decision day, so things are coming up, and I think they're putting the Vim in After Party,
Yeah,
and we're enjoying it. And it's like Keisha has gone back to old Keisha, and she's asking all the questions that she should ask. So,
yeah. Normally, after party annoys me because I know that they film it, I think, after
yeah.
decision day. So I know they're faking and lying and doing all this weird stuff. So it's annoying.
It is, but that's why I said they have good actors. The number one question I want to know is how many takes does it take? Because they have to make mistakes.
Yeah, that is true. Like, even with the facial reactions and
Yeah,
stuff, yeah, I'm sure that's pretty difficult to
yeah,
manage.
yeah. I'm sure the director's like, fix your face now.
Yeah.
Act like there's still hope.
Yeah, but this one was juicy. They came with all the tea. No
Yeah.
holds,
All
no
right.
holds barred.
Before we get into the episode, just guys, spread the love, spread the news. Like, if you have people who don't have time to watch After Party, people who live in Canada and are not able to watch it, which is the wildest thing though. How can you show episode of MAFS to people but not After Party? But, anyways, if you know people, refer them to the Patreon so they can listen and get their recap of After Party without even having to watch it. And that's patreon.com/autocall MAFS. All right. So this week's guest was Karla, Ikechi, and Michelle. Um, I don't know what Ikechi was wearing, but okay.
I, I have nothing nice to say about that
I
man.
know, I know. I didn't even notice it until afterwards. I was like, oh, this is something different. He even has a tie on. But did you notice that he sat on his hands the entire episode?
No, I didn't. Wow.
Yeah. Like, well, what's the difference between sitting on your hands or putting your hands under your legs or behind you? Like, it just the whole episode, that was
Maybe
how
he
he
was
sat.
anxious, actually.
Yeah, that's possible. I mean,
Yeah.
I keep giving him kudos for showing up. I
Because he has another agenda.
yeah, but so someone put on Twitter and said they're not sure if he's going to show up for the reunion, and I'm like, for the fact that he's showing up for After Party, I think he's going to show up. And they thought he wouldn't show up because, like, he's getting bad feedback. The reviews on his Amazon is so terrible.
He
So
probably thinks we're all at fault.
yeah, I don't think he thinks he's done anything wrong.
Yeah, that's why he keeps showing up.
Okay, so I should take my props back.
Yes.
Okay, so Keisha asked them how it feels discussing some of the tougher moments on the episode. Michelle says it feels empowering to talk about the things that she's had suspicions on. Ikechi says it's a relief to get things done. He didn't get anything done, but okay, whatever he thinks. And Keisha says, what do you mean? Like, he said it's a relief to get things done, that he got a conclusion to a piece. And Keisha was like, oh, what does that mean? Because Ikechi hasn't figured out that we don't speak Ikechi. He keeps saying things and he thinks he has said something, but he really hasn't. And it's not clear. He's not a good communicator.
He's terrible. He's terrible. Since day one that he showed up on our screens, I'm like, this man says fluffy things that mean nothing. Since
Fill-
day one, have been annoyed by him.
Filler words. So
Hmm.
Keisha says, what do you mean the conclusion to a piece? And oh, she says, what do you mean? And then he was like, oh, the conclusion to a piece. I'm like, okay. So Karla says she's just trying to stay open and vulnerable, and being met with a wall, she's just trying to meet him where he is. Keisha says many of the spouses are facing hardships and they could use relief, so therefore the cocktail is simply called is a classic painkiller. I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Fair. They start with a clip of the tarot reading that Karla and Juan did. I always say they're quite boring.
Yeah.
So it was quite pointless. And Keisha asked if Juan said anything after the camera stopped rolling. And Carla is simply like, listen, his brother does tarot reading. And that's true because he said that at the wedding.
Yeah, I remember he said that at the wedding, yeah.
Yeah. But we all know that somehow Keisha doesn't, because Keisha's like, what? He does. What? Yeah. And I'm like, ma'am, why are you surprised? Like, we know.
Yeah.
Carla said, "Oh yeah, that his family is very much aligned with her beliefs, and his brother even said that he would do the natal chart, and he's exposed to this, so not quite sure why he's meeting this with much resistance." To be fair, just because your family believes in something doesn't mean that you're going to be aligned. But I
Yeah.
think what Juan does is Juan is always like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
What is this? How? And it's almost like it's new versus, oh, my brother does this. I just don't believe in this. Why? Even if you don't, why can't you open your mouth and just tell Carla, like, I will indulge you, but not for me?
Like Juan is very, I guess, avoidant or something. He just doesn't want to fight at all. I don't know whether he's very aware of himself on
Yeah.
TV. Because if you look at like some of the advice that, or some of what he was saying about how Ikechi behaves,
Mm-hmm.
um, I think most of what he was saying was, I mean, just stick it through. You don't really have to be this way, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. So that's what Juan is doing. He's just sticking things through. He's not trying to stir anything up. So I think that's his way of not stirring up any drama.
I wonder why he showed up on the show because for one end you could say okay he came for love, and then if not you could also be like, oh, he just came to promote his business, but he's actually not promoting his business.
I
Like,
don't know. Maybe they're filming and just not showing us. I don't know. But Juan also doesn't strike me as someone that's like that smart. Like when
shots fired.
like I think he's just someone that just talks a big talk,
Yeah.
and because he's with someone like
Carla.
Karla that's just so whimsical or whatever, like maybe she's more like if they paired him with like MM, she'll be able to call him out on his
Yeah.
BS about business and things like that. But Karla is just more, oh, okay, okay, and like she's just more, what's the word? Malleable
Yeah.
to Juan. I really don't think he's that smart business wise, to be
But
honest.
is she malleable, or is she just has she just given up? Like, it's not worth the point because I don't know, on the main episode I mentioned how some MAFS Nation posted this where someone said at this point I think Carla's just doing this to fuck with Juan, like just to annoy him. And she's, doing all these things because I said they're never together by themselves. There's
Yeah,
always a party with them doing something. And
yeah.
then she liked it and said, almost like she's agreeing that that's
Agreeing
what she's
to it.
doing. But
Yeah,
who knows? In hindsight, anyone can claim any story. I mean, we have Michelle right now claiming like she's an aggrieved wife. So, as if we didn't watch the first how many weeks of all of that.
yeah.
So Carla said she needs to understand. No, Keisha said she needs to understand the energy between them. I'm like, me and you, Keisha. Like, we've all just put them to the side because there's nothing to understand. They are not
They
giving us anything.
and they better come with it during the reunion. Like I need to know what the hell happened. He needs to let us
Mm.
know, not any of that Eris and Jasmine shit. We need to know why he's not attracted to her. He needs to tell us something, please.
Set your expectations to the Eris and Jasmine shit because not sure we're gonna get anything. For as much as he likes to keep the peace, that man is saying anything. I mean, but I think the real of it is just he's not attracted to
But I want him to say that.
her line of thinking.
He should just say I'm not attracted to her. Like I don't think he has said it.
Um, he did when they were with Dr. Pia. When he said, I don't feel any romantic feelings and I'm not, well, did he say attracted or just romantic feelings? But I
I
thought he
think
said that.
romantic feelings, and then I feel like all the fluff behind how they speak is to not upset each other.
Mm.
I need him to be more direct, please.
Well,
Like,
good luck with that. Good luck with that. Carla confirmed something that I've always been saying on the pod, where she's like, she just follows his energy. That if he pulls
yeah.
away, then she pulls away, and then when she pulls away, he tries to make effort. I'm like, is that part true? That when she pulls away, he makes effort. I feel like if there was that, they would have shown us, but I haven't
I
seen
think the
that.
effort that he's making is not the type of effort that will be needed to push a relationship forward.
It's a friendship effort. It's like
Yes.
I feel like Juan does things that you would do for any of your friends,
Yes.
but not necessarily like in a romantic
Romantic.
relations where you have 8 weeks to make a decision.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think again, it's just to avoid conflict. That's the
Mm,
reason why he's doing, like, whenever she pulls away, he's pushing just to
mm,
avoid conflict, not because he's trying to make anything better.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she says there's a dance and she feels like it should just flow and shouldn't be this dance. Keisha asks Akechi what he thinks or why he thinks Juan is in his head when it comes to intimacy. Every time they
No
ask
one
Akechi,
needs, yeah, no one needs Ikechi's opinion on anything, please.
well, it's not that. It's like
Ugh.
every time they ask Akechi something, in my mind, the guys don't talk to him. So when she says from the conversations they've had, what has he said? And when he has an actual answer, I'm just trying to imagine them. Like, I don't think they respect him enough. Like, they're always
Yeah,
taking digs behind him that I'm like, who is really talking to Akechi about their marriage when his marriage is in shambles?
right.
And I know it's a conscious decision this season not to have the couples talk a lot. And I'm one of those people who feels like they shouldn't communicate a lot. But I feel like I missed that. There's a question mark after that. I don't know if I miss it. It's just weird every time they're together and it still feels like they're strangers because I'm just so used to. I mean,
The
Colorado took it
group
too much.
activities.
Not even the group activities, but I know who the best friends are. I know who is cool with who, who's talking to who.
Right.
But now they feel like strangers that coworkers.
Maybe
Let me put
it's
it that way.
this group of people.
I think the show is reacting to I'm sorry,
Mm,
Denver. I keep saying Colorado. Denver, where it was too much to the point that they all came up with a plan and all that
right,
stuff. And then
right.
people were like, like I said, people like me were like, no, these people interact too much. They should be separate. They should be by themselves. And now they're doing it. In fact, we're getting the experts every other day.
Well, maybe this is why people are able to cheat as well. Like if they feel like they're sort of far removed from themselves, they can build more of a romantic relationship as opposed to if they were all together all
All
the
the time.
time as friends, and you can see people's dynamic. It will be more awkward to steal the other person, not steal, but
Yes, it is. To Alicia Keys your man. I mean, and that's the irony of it all, that when you hang out all the time and your friends and you guys get to hang out, nothing happened. And then when you separate them, all of a sudden, that's a very good point, though, that you're able to remove it like, well, I mean, we're
We
not
don't
really
really know
friends.
exactly. We
Like,
don't really know each other,
you just
so
film the scenes every now and
yeah,
then and you don't
yeah,
feel like it's a betrayal. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
I
because
think
when
people are just more intrigued by people that they're not spending time
that
with all
much
the
time with,
time. Yeah.
yeah. And Ikechi says that Juan is just in his head with intimacy, like from the conversation that they've had, he's just afraid to fuck up. And in the past, sex has clouded his mind, and he doesn't want it to cloud it again. Y'all know my thoughts on this, so I'm not gonna beat it over the head. But I'm just like, again, 19 days or 9 days left. Why is this still an issue? He just doesn't want to. So okay.
My thought here was, I don't care what you're saying, Ikechi. Whatever.
Yeah, Keisha says, well, it doesn't have to be sex. She says that all the time. It could be a handhold, it could be a hug. And then she asks Karla, does he do that? And Karla says no, that he already said it, that he doesn't have romantic feelings for me. Keisha asks, do you? And then she pauses. And then she's like, I mean, I'm affectionate. So naturally, I'm affectionate towards him. And as time is going on, she doesn't feel comfortable being affectionate. Again, that is not what they asked you.
Yeah.
They asked you if you have romantic feelings. Do you think she has
Yeah.
romantic feelings?
I think she thinks those feelings are romantic feelings. She might just be really attracted to him.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if the way she talks about how he doesn't give her anything,
Mm-hmm.
then why would that lead to any romantic feelings? So
It's
I
just
I
go ahead.
think it's an attraction that she has to something that she can't get right now.
That's fair. It's just sad because this
It
one we
is.
can't even put it on the experts. They
Yeah.
did what needed to be done. And I think it must be hard for her. I can't tell if it's romantic or not, but it must be hard to be with someone who is everything, well, not everything because besides the physical affection that you've wanted, because from what we see, I mean, he cooks, he cleans, he's considerate of her stuff and goes ahead. And the physical stuff, he might be able to, he's just the one holding back.
Yeah.
So it's just that's crazy. There had to have been one thing she said.
Yeah.
Do you think it's when she got petty and hid his bag from traveling? And he's like, I don't need that kind of wickedness or pettiness in my life.
But they talked it out. So
They did.
like you're not ready for marriage if something like that's not a deal breaker. Like come on. Like you talked it out and everything seemed to be fine. Like that would be
Yeah.
crazy if that's what it is.
I mean,
I
it
don't
took
know. I
a
just feel like he's not attracted to her.
that's possible. That's possible because again, you could see an attractive person and
Yeah.
admit that they're attractive, but they don't do it for you.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that sucks. They're
Do
so
you
pretty.
think do you think that people can build attraction? I don't know if we've talked about this before.
Yes, I have talked about it multiple times
Mhm.
back when Aid was around. I
Mhm.
never believed that you could build attractions. Either it's there or it's not. And I did with an ex and it didn't work out. So I still don't know where I stand. But I experienced it based on how they acted. So the first time I met them, they did something, or I just thought they were just crass and just like, ugh, like how dare, like no, whatever. Then I went through a hard time, and then they were there for me, and the way they checked up, and then I was like, ooh, okay. And the thing is, they weren't not cute; they were cute. It
Mhm.
wasn't a physical thing or anything. It was just like I didn't think that I did, and then from there it built, and I was like, "What? So you can?" I was more mad at the fact that I had to change my stance because before then I
Mm.
always believed that attraction, no, not attraction. That wait, are we talking about is attraction, right?
Yeah, attraction,
That
yeah.
attraction could not grow. That it's instant once you meet the
Yeah.
person, and then now I've had an experience where it actually grew. So now
Yeah.
I have to fix my mouth. I was mad at that.
Yeah. I think like it's two ways for me. I think the person has to be an objectively attractive person.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, I see objectively attractive people and I'm not necessarily attracted
Yeah.
immediately until like they say something. Like you have to speak to me, but you can be objectively attractive.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's what building attraction looks like.
Well, what do you mean by speak to you?
Like you have to do more than be
Be
objectively
attractive?
attractive. Yes. So
Yeah.
like I
So,
don't know if I have an attraction to people in general until they do things.
oh, until they, yeah.
Yeah. Like
But
I don't I look at people. I admit that they are this is an attractive person,
yeah.
but like I can't do anything with that.
But what if it's in like in my example where
Mhm.
they did something
Mhm.
and that turned me off, but
Yeah,
then
so
they did
I
something again and
yeah.
that it reversed.
So that's another question. You came back from an ick. I don't know how you did it.
Oh
I
God,
can't
I did.
yes. I can't recover from an ick.
Don't never say never. That was me. Like the world is very good at humbling you. Like I told you, that's what I was mad
Hey,
at. I was mad that I had to come back and be like, "Well, I've been humbled."
I have no patience, like zero.
I don't. Trust me. My husband would tell you I do not have patience. So I don't know how that happened, but that's why I'm mad.
So I think for me, like just building an attraction, I guess it depends on the longevity of like how long you've known the person. So like if I meet someone like 5 minutes into meeting them, I don't know if I'm attracted to them or not. But if they come and they speak to me and like we have somewhat of a conversation, then I can
Hmm.
decide whether I'm attracted to them or not.
Yeah.
But that's an objectively attractive person. Now, someone that I find unattractive
Yeah.
from jump, I don't know that I can build an
Build on track.
attraction.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because the physical is the first. The physical is the
exactly.
one, it doesn't need words, doesn't need actions. It's just
Yeah.
pure. eyes. But I don't know. I feel like it's easy for me to say because I'm not on the show, but these people put too much pressure on themselves for this. Like, come in, just see why you were matched. Yes, we get on the experts a lot, but they must have seen some certain things and just try. And then don't nitpick. You have to come in with a lot of grace. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. Juan is coming with a lot of grace, but Juan is probably, it's easier for Juan to apply this grace because he knows he's not attracted, so he's trying to compensate for it by allowing all of the things, or maybe he's just conflict avoidant, like you said, or maybe it's a
Yeah.
combination
Yeah.
of everything.
And also, he has someone that doesn't stress him out.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, that's true.
if it were me, shit, something would have popped off because I'm just not gonna take it.
That's why and I'm looking forward to the reunion in terms of where Karla stands, because introducing him to her parents is throwing me all the way for a
Yeah.
loop. I don't,
Yeah.
because for me, if you ask me, I would have said, "Oh, she's just resigned. She's accepted that this is what it is. It's not going anywhere, and that's it." And then she introduced to the parents. Yes,
I
it's
I
like,
think she
okay,
was trying to use that as a way to get them closer.
mm, that's huge, though.
That's very huge, yeah. But I
So,
think she was trying. Like sometimes when you're really grasping for someone that's pulling you away,
mm,
it's like this magnetic thing that keeps making you want to like go get the thing,
yeah.
as opposed to if you never know if Juan actually like really likes her, like start showing that he likes her, she might pull away, like
That's
like you
true.
just never know. I think
That's
she's
true.
attracted more attracted to him because
Because he's not
yes,
giving what she wants, like challenge
yes,
accepted.
yeah,
I am looking forward to the reunion. I can't say this enough
yeah, me
for all
too,
that.
can't wait.
Okay, so um Keisha asked, like, does it feel friend zone-ish? And I'm like, Keisha, stop asking these obvious questions. Yes. One person has said it feels like kissing my cousin. The other person said I don't have romantic feelings. What else do you think it is? Yes, it's friend zone-ish. And Carla is like, yeah, for sure. Because when a man wants you, he comes for you. I see no lies, facts.
Period.
They played the clip of Ikechi and MM meeting with Dr. Pia. Keisha asked, how was it watching that back? And does he see anything different than in the moment? That man looked at her like, what do you mean? Like, I stand by everything I said. He's Ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? If you're a woman, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living rent free in our environment right now. In our food, our water, the air we breathe, the clothes we wear, our skincare, and they all mess with our hormones. Then there's the natural hormonal changes our bodies go through. There's perimenopause, there's menopause. Whew, it's a lot. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean we don't suffer through it. But I have good news for you. We don't have to suffer through any of this anymore because now we have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Happy Mammoth, the company that created Hormone Harmony, is dedicated to making women's lives easier. And that means using only science backed ingredients that have been proven to work for women. They make no compromise when it comes to quality, and it shows. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code AltaCallMAFS at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use the code AltaCallMAFS, that's AltaCallMAFS, for 15% off today. Says, well, I see the inability to express myself, and he wants to say that he doesn't want to be here and he's not interested in this marriage. And didn't he say that?
Yeah, like this
I'm
man is a perpetual victim. He said the inability to express himself. Sir,
like, you
that's
wish.
all you've done literally all through this season is
Oh
express yourself poorly,
my god.
but that's all you've done. Like I was so confused. He's such a victim. Like it's insane.
I'm so amused by how annoyed he makes you so annoyed. Well, he said at it and I'm like, did I watch something different? I feel like you expressed yourself in octaves that were getting higher and higher. And Keisha was like, I'm so confused because didn't you guys go out after this? He scoffs. He's like, yeah. And then he was like, well, in that moment, I was tired and delirious and I just wanted to go. And we had a moment and we played games. I'm like, okay. Michelle says, I mean, when me and David fight, we separate. We don't go play games together. Keisha says, okay, wait, you just told me that before this, in this moment, you don't want to be here. And then you go to play games. That it's mixed messaging. And for anyone outside of your head, this shit don't make sense. Like he made Keisha say shit. Like he made her
Hmm.
curse on TV. And then he says, it don't make sense to me too. He said to him it was more of an olive branch of peace. Keisha asked, would you be confused? Michelle said, can I speak? Like that she gets confused because she has only heard MM's side of the story. And watching this, she and the experts are still looking for specific examples like what happened? What was the turning point for them both? Then he starts. Imagine you're not into someone. Everyone's looking at him like he was like, oh yeah, okay, like David. This was so awkward. And making you sexually uncomfortable and you say, hey, calm down. And when you say no, that's what I meant by the whole thing that was aggressive. Like that's what it feels like. And this really pissed me off because we're going back to the early days when a wife, made a pass at her husband after he put his hand on his private. So she thought there was the go ahead. You were flirting with her and now you've gone back to the fact that she tried to do that and that was aggressive one time. Let's not forget about the fact that in the main episode when he said he went to homecoming because he didn't feel safe. I went on a whole rant on the main episode because using that word is very deliberate and just stop saying these things about this woman.
I really hope Kevin gets on him like during the reunion, like because he tends to only listen to black men.
Mhm.
So for black man to black man, Kevin needs to get on his ass. Like this is
Yeah.
just a dangerous rhetoric that he keeps spilling. And I
Yeah.
think the reason why I'm really triggered by him is I've been love bombed before, and I think that's the hard part for MM.
Yeah.
She's trying to recreate what they had in those first few days.
Yeah.
Like she's holding on to it for dear life. He can't use the David and Michelle example because Michelle has hated David since day one and she let him know,
Mm.
like since the wedding day.
Mhm.
So there isn't any good times for David to hold on to. But
Yeah.
like not only, and that's why it's confusing for the other couples as well, because like he was displaying, because he's an actor, not a
Yeah.
good one.
Mhm.
Not only was he giving showing these feelings, he was also displaying these feelings to the
Yeah.
rest of the couples as well. So you're playing this thing up not only to but to everyone else, to the audience, everyone. So it's like now you want to take everything back. That is insane without any concrete, like, solid reason. Like it's like something just changed in his head and
Yeah.
he didn't communicate at that moment when something changed.
Yeah, it wasn't one-sided at all because I remember because they were all saying that they were the golden couple and I was like, am I missing
Yeah.
something? Like what
Yeah, I mean,
did I
we
not
saw
watch?
that it was fake. We
Yeah.
called it. We called it out, like the audience,
Yeah.
TV audience. We knew it was fake from jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he says after the honeymoon, the whole sex thing made him uncomfortable. Michelle says the confusion is, they would separate and he says like, I understand that. But he doesn't. He just says these things so that conversations will stop. Ikechi would do anything for a conversation he doesn't want to be in to stop.
Yeah.
So Ikechi says that they've had this conversation of divorce and it's like this is over. And Keisha says MM didn't think it was over. Like it gave her false hope. Ikechi says, how many times can you say you're done before someone else understands it? Michelle says, well, action speaks louder than words. And then Karla says, like, well, it goes back to romanticizing stuff and making it feel like, and he's like, that's not on me.
The, of course, nothing is on him. Again, the only explanation here is she was love bombed and she's holding on to what they had. of which
Mhm.
I have some friends that we have in common that are going to laugh when they hear me say love bombing. They're going to be like, oh my God, here she goes again. But like, yep,
Okay,
it's love
friend,
bombing.
when you hear it, I'm expecting that text. You know who you are. um, yeah, he says that's not on me, and she's like, she says she didn't say, just giving him like Keisha was like, I didn't say that it was on you. I'm just giving you perspective on how it can be received. On this part, I mean, you make a good point where, because did say at some point, like, this is not, or this is the Ikechi I know, or something to that effect. You're right. Like, she's thinking of that early time. But even when he said that, though, a little part of me was like, what else do you need, though? Because the only person that's keeping this going is you. Like, she's smart. You don't need, even if he gave false hope, the relationship is not based on Ikechi, and I get her whole tenacity of, I tried, I'm gonna fight to the end. I've dated worse, which to me is something we need to unpack. The fact that you've dated men worse than Ikechi is actually scary. So you don't need to continue that. It is not a challenge for you to win or change or accept. You can remove yourself from the situation, whether or not he wants to continue or not. Like, you should remove yourself from that. I hate the fact that he thinks he has the upper hand, because he always makes that point where she wanted a husband. She wanted a husband. It didn't matter who he was. I'm the person that can give that to her, because she keeps saying, I would like to continue the marriage. I would like to continue this. And he feels like he's doing a big one by, I don't want this marriage. I am taking that from you.
Yeah.
I hate that
Yeah, I hate it
so
too.
much.
I wonder what MM's boundaries are. Like when is enough enough? Because even if you are like love bombed, you have to draw the line. Like let's say you're holding on to
Yeah,
the
passive
Ikechi
glory.
from you have to draw the line somewhere. And the line should have been where he tried to accuse her of SA. Like
Yeah.
that's where she should have called it. Like you don't come back from stuff like that. Like that is insane.
Well, this is a lady on the honeymoon who told us she runs into red flags. So, you know, that's why I said that needs to be unpacked, because she doesn't need any more of this
Yeah.
again. So they play the clip of David confessing allegedly that the text was for Tiffany and all of that. Keisha asks, how does it feel watching what we all knew? Michelle says, like, that he only confessed after Denise called him and told him, like, I didn't lie. I told her the truth. And Keisha says, what emotions is she feeling? She says, no one wants to be lied to or cheated on. And oh, it once again that, she's been triggered by her parents' infidelity.
Oh my
I
god.
hate when she says that. Like the guest Amy said last week, who won't be triggered by anything? It's not unique to you, but also
Yes.
she didn't know she was triggered until Pastor Cal told her, oh, I'm sure you're triggered. And she's like, oh, yeah. Now we won't hear the rest of it. All we hear, he did that. My parents separated because of infidelity. Now it's a problem, and we're not going to hear the
So
last of it.
look, Michelle, David doing what he did doesn't absolve you of your own things as well. Like
Yeah.
stop it. It's oh
I need everybody to never forget, like keep remembering, because it's very easy, recency bias, to just think of Michelle and David and Madison and all of this stuff. But nope, let's go back to how terrible this woman was. We should never forget.
yeah.
And they better not give her this after party treatment on the reunion. Even if she has to walk away, she does not need to get this after party rebrand or whatever the hell is going on.
I really feel like they're gonna do that
Ugh.
because I think they might make this entire reunion about the. I mean, they've made the whole season about the wife swap and cheating and stuff like that. I feel like they're gonna continue it through the reunion.
Mm.
Yeah.
So she asked Karla what she thinks, and Karla says, I'm going to keep it real. I don't want to be insensitive to your past and what happened with your parents, but it was rocky. Like watching you guys as a couple, so it's understood that he's looking elsewhere. I'm like, go Karla. After party was made for Karla. Michelle says, are you looking outside? She says no, but if she was rejected in a certain way, she can't say what she would have done. I wanted to applaud, give a standing ovation, and I'm glad she
Yes.
said it that way, because she keeps trying to draw people like that are not getting along. But
Yeah.
the problem is the way you did it. So I'm glad Carla
Yeah.
said, if I was being rejected in a certain way, I'm gonna be like, fuck it. Like
Yeah.
I don't owe you anything. You hate me.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna stay here. Again, I don't think it's right. David should have
Yeah.
waited, but I'm just looking at different points of view
Oh my
here.
gosh, Ting. I just thought of something. What if Juan actually realized that like Karla is actually smarter than she portrays herself to be, and maybe that's the turnoff?
We're never gonna know, Wendy. We're never gonna know because I think I said it before. I never remember who I said it to, but I think I said the surprise was that Carla is actually more grounded and Juan is more woo woo because I thought Juan
Yes,
was gonna be like so serious and working, but he's been available this whole time. We haven't even heard about the work thing in a
exactly.
while. Like so
So that's why I'm thinking, like that thought, like just came up in my mind now. What if he felt like maybe he could control her and teach her and do all these things, and she's just not
that person and
that
he's scared
person?
that
Yes,
he'll
and he's
know
feeling insecure. Yeah, she's gonna find out, like,
who the
surprise,
real him is and all that
I'm
stuff.
not that smart.
But
Yeah.
well, you see how limited that thinking is because if that was really the case, the person you should be with is someone like Carla because that would not bother her. There are other women who are like,
True.
"Oh, oh my god, I'm watching Married at First Sight Australia. That show is crazy. Like people are blunt, people are outright. People have said not attracted to. Someone said if I turn around, I don't like what I'm seeing, I'm gone. And
Wow.
as of yet, the person is gone. So here, at least they try to make nice. There's some people that will be like blunt about that. Like, no, I want a man who's yada yada yada.
Hmm.
Carla will be willing to work with you, and
Yeah.
she won't even think anything like, oh, I'm smart or
Yeah.
whatever. If there's anyone that can work with those insecurities, it would be Carla. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I think Juan does have a lot of insecurities.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, pluck your blessings, Juan.
Yeah.
So Keisha is really in her wise auntie bag. She's like, I always say this: an ugly truth is better than a clean lie. I'm like, all right.
Hmm.
Michelle is pissed at this point because you can see her face. She's just like, you know how she shuts down when something happens,
Yeah.
but she's mad that Carla was like, if she was rejected in
Called
that
her
way.
out. Yeah.
But this was where I wish Keisha asked her, like, do you really care? Like, given the way, back to Carla's point, you weren't really feeling David and all this happened. Don't you feel relieved? Like, do you really care?
Yeah. Like I said the last time, the reason why she cares is because she has always had an inkling that it was Madison. That's why she cares.
Mm. I still think the producers fed her or led her to
Yeah.
that because
Yeah.
why Madison? So they played a clip of Ikechi and the divorce page one paper. Ikechi says that he can see himself not even wanting to be there. Guys, if you're counting the second time he's saying that, but he came there to put a period at the end of the sentence and he was done. His voice was rising at this point in Afterparty as he's saying this. And that as soon as she blew up, he left and he shouldn't have wasted the gas. Wendy, my memory fades. Where did she blow up?
I said, where is the blow up here? Like, am I missing something? Even when they had that session with Dr. Pia, he was referencing like her blowing up. It's
Yes.
like, are you in? This man is sick.
Yeah. I
Like,
feel
he's sick.
I feel like at the reunion what they need to do is play all these scenarios and he should point out where she blew up. Like, I mean, because it's going to be on camera, you can't fight it. So since he's claiming all these things, he just really needs to stop making accusations
I really
at
hope they
her.
get that like thorough and messy, like at the reunion, because he needs to, you know, see himself.
I mean, he is. He's watching this and after party and
That is true.
so when he's talking, all the ladies are looking at the floor. Nobody is like addressing him and then Carla is like, "Well, I thought it was so silly the way you showed up. It was silly as fuck."
Ah! I'm telling you, this was Carla's after party. She said silly as fuck. I was like, yes, you go, girl.
she She said what it seemed like was like you were trying to embarrass her in a group
Hmm.
setting. He was like, I hear you and it's valid, but I didn't come to be silly. But you were silly. This man said he shouldn't have wasted gas. Mass fan posted it was 36 minutes away. So he didn't really do anything. And then someone online said that they think that he rented the car. I'm not gonna lie, when I saw the car, I was like, oh my god, this is a nice car.
You
I
know,
was
this
like,
just makes me happy how everyone else hates him. It makes
oh
my
no,
heart filled with joy.
people hate EKG. Every now and then I feel like, oh, I see where he's coming from. He's wrong, but I can see when a self-absorbed person can think like, oh, this is where I'm the aggrieved. But his problem is he's creating scenarios that don't exist
Yeah,
in his head,
yeah,
and he doesn't realize that he's doing that.
yeah.
So,
And instead of him to just ask questions, like let's say he did see do something that like put him off, like ask,
yeah.
communicate.
Yeah, and this is the second time he's trying to do something in a public setting. He comes late to everything, he leaves early to everything, and he wants a whole scene. There is absolutely no reason for you to have come here to the dinner or the retreat house. At the very
Standing there like a
least,
freaking creep, like at the door, like he's, oh my god, that man is weird.
at the very least, at the apartment, leave it on there and put a sticky note or something, but don't make it a
Yeah.
whole thing. And then why do you have to do it? You have 9 days. You can do it after the show ends and they'll pay for it. But he says, I hear you. Yeah, I didn't come here to be silly. Keisha says, like, the other thing is your demeanor and your energy when you enter the room. Like, he never comes in, he sucks the air out of a room. And then Michelle is like, yeah, like he was uncomfortable and it was icky. He was like, no, that he didn't have any energy, that he's just allergic to shellfish. So he was at the door because he didn't want to get close to it. And like I said before, how did he know it was shrimp from the door? Like, if you come in and walk in through the door, how do you know it was shrimp? So I think he's lying.
Of course. Yes, again, created a story.
And then he said, I didn't want to make a big deal. So Keisha asked him, so this brings us to our do-over session. I hate this thing so much, this
So
segment.
stupid.
Would you have done this different? He was like, I would have sent someone else to do it. Why? You're on a show that's going to pay for your divorce and handle that after. Why do you have to make a whole thing about this?
The way this man acts like he hates MM's guts, they
He does.
really need to find us like footage of something that she did to him because
Yep.
it's insane.
Hmm. They played the clip of Michelle bringing up the whole text at dinner, and as they're watching it, Carla's eyes are bulging out of her head. I don't know what part is shocking her, but I would have loved to know. Then Keisha says, "Wow, it seems like Madison was upset. What was the root?" And then Michelle was like, "The second she gets up, I was like, why did she get up?" And she felt like whenever she spoke, like Madison was siding with David, and she was like, "Oh, in fact, I think the whole group was." And it was hurtful that why can't she speak her truth when it's everyone's turn? And Keisha asked, "Is she upset?" Because Michelle says, "Well, I mean, I'm talking about her man, so maybe."
When she said that, I was like, damn, the gloves are off on this after party. Everyone is really speaking their minds. Wow.
I can't believe they left that in there.
Yes. Oh, wow.
So Keisha says, I don't know. Then Keisha just goes, okay, I don't know anything. I don't know. I'm going to watch it like everybody else. I was like, girl, we know you have screeners. You've probably
Yeah.
seen it at a times.
Yeah.
Keisha asked Karla if she thinks there is a world where the text could be from Madison. Karla says, yes. She says it would never have come to her mind, but then she realized that she was out that night. Michelle is like, that's the night of the text. And then Madison was like, let's ditch the guys and go dancing. And David pops up, and all of a sudden, she's by herself. Then they went into the crowd and she didn't see them for a long time. And Keisha says, for like how long? She's like, 4 to 5 songs. Like Ikechi says nothing this whole time. The whole thing. She says, and then they come out and she asks, oh, where have you guys been? And they were like, oh, she lost her phone. So when Michelle brought it up, she was like, oh, and she was like, she didn't say anything because she didn't think of, how when you don't think of something, and which is what I'm
Yeah.
asking. If we didn't know about this whole couple thing or the way they've been laying it, would we have been looking at certain scenes the same way? But
Yeah.
I think that's how Carla was just like, I would never do that. So I don't think anyone around me would do that. But now in hindsight, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this could have been something. So Keisha is like, well, You are innocent until proven otherwise, and neither of them are here, so we're just gonna leave it at that. What a
I
good
wonder who's gonna be at the next after party.
I know they didn't tell us, but
Yeah.
depending on what happens next week, it's also good to see the rotation. And
Yeah.
now we notice people that have never been on there at the same
Yeah.
time and the thing. But again, these people, that's how you know you're not built for reality TV. Ikechi is a madman on the show and still shows up every day. Madison stole her girl's man, still showing up every day. David cheated, still showing up every day.
No, they are meant for reality TV.
No, I said this is how I know we are not
Oh, really?
meant.
Oh, I think it said that. Oh, yes. I was just thinking about it the other day. I'm like, these people are crazy.
Yeah.
That's why they're on TV.
Yeah, like if I did that, I'm like, don't find me. Don't like the guy I'm telling you about on Married at First Sight Australia. He deleted his socials. He's gone into hiding.
That
Nothing
would
is
be
coming.
me.
But these people are like, yeah, I'm gonna have to party. Yeah, I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna still film after the decision day and still show. I'm like, why? How?
What? I don't
Mm-mm.
know. Like, yeah, I couldn't be me. Could not be me. I like even dealing with everything that like from day one, I would have been like,
Mm-mm.
yeah, I'm out.
Yeah,
Or David dealing with Michelle, I'd have been like, I'm out.
yeah,
I'm done. Nah,
yeah. They're
couldn't be
made
me.
for it.
Yeah.
Well, this was fun. Thank you so much, Wendy, for recapping this episode with me. You will be back. I'm not even asking. You will.
Yes.
You will be back. And thanks, guys, for tuning in. Look out for a Sister Wives bonus episode coming soon. Until next time, guys. Bye.